Fospor Arena at SKW. The first games of the Bank Windhoek playoffs will start at 6 p.m. on Friday, with the under-11 and under-14 set to determine their respective tournament winners. The champions for the National League A, B and under-18 categories will be decided on Saturday at 8 a.m. And Ibn Etzbeth's influence on and off the field for South Africa is likely to be a key factor in Saturday's Rugby World Cup semi-final against England, as it proved last weekend when the Springboks eliminated the host nation in the last 8. The imposing lock, whose gladiatorial style has made him first choice in the Springboks' second row for more than a decade. Those have been our sports stories. Have a good weekend. It is Friday the 20th of October, and you know what time it is. It's time for Sports Wrap, to make sure that you have the very latest sports news right at your screen. My name is Ashwin Berry, and without further ado, it's time to head into the hit list. Namibia Media Holdings is honored to have our colleague Tielman van Lill named as Sports Journalist of the Year, and this was by the Editors Forum of Namibia on Thursday night. Now, Tielman sent us this message saying he did not expect to win the award, and he tells us how the recognition motivates him to keep going forward and to keep improving.
Hi guys, my name is Tielman van Lill. I'm a sports journalist at Namibia Media Holdings. I received the Editors Forum of Namibia's Sport Journalist Award of the Year. Obviously the EFN, Editors Forum of Namibia, is the highest authority for journalism in Namibia, and that covers television, radio and the printed media as well. Yes, I didn't expect the honor because the competition it's very, very fierce between the men and women in sport. And yeah, the moment was nice, but it's something of the past now. So that is just starting from scratch again. What makes me tick, people ask very often to write every day, and yeah, it's easy. My colleagues, I learn from them a lot, colleagues from other mediums, and then the most important is the men and women in sport itself, that make me go on every day writing, thinking, planning, interviewing people, searching, doing research on certain topics and so on. And that it takes time. You all, other journalists will know, and but the reward is sweet, because you talk to people basically on a daily basis that will tell you thank you for that piece in the paper, and that kind of thing. Now, this reward doesn't make me a superstar or a celebrity at once. One have to stay humble and just keep on shouldering. I'm so proud of being in the cabinet of Namibia Media Holdings, representing NTV, Namibian Sun, the Republican, and Sportrap. And I will do this as long as I can. That's what I love, and that's what I'm passionate about. Thank you for your time, and God bless till next time.
Now, on our next hit list, Marissa Mouton chats with Brian Monango, and she tells us how her year has been, having cycled around 10.4 kilometers this year. Let's hear what she has to say. That's 10,400 kilometers.
Cool. So we are joined by Marissa, who just finished her last gravel and dead sundowner. Marissa, just tell us, I saw you were a bit tired when you got in, but just run us through it. How was it today?
It was, for me, it was by far the hardest. I think it's with the long rides that we had over the weekend that Hollard has. We did a 128 kilometers up Kupferberg, through farms, and yeah, we finished 7 hours later. So I wasn't supposed to be coming in and doing this ride, but it was the last one, and I kind of have a title to defend.
You have to.
I had to go. Yeah, I have to come. So yeah, it was hard. It was tough because I was hoping for a tailwind as we end, and I was by myself the whole time. Sometimes you pick up on somebody and you're lucky, but today it was a solo. Yeah, and it was tough.
It was tough. Okay, well, you and I were speaking before the time, talking about the double century. Just tell us who the viewers that don't know about it. What happened there? How was that?
Well, the double century, well, they are taking out the muddy part of the route for next year. So I don't want to discourage anybody to go and do the race. But it was really muddy the first, I think, 40 kilometers. You had people like next to you slipping, and gears slipping, and chains going off. So I heard somebody say, change your gears the whole time. So I was just changing my gears the whole time to keep my gazette clean. And I went off into the thick sand. It made me slower, but it kept me going. The next moment when I was looking behind me, there was like nobody. And I looked in front and I thought, shit, did I make a wrong turn because I was on the left side of the road for so long? But I actually ended up being alone. So the rest of the 200 was like a solo ride for me. And it was tough. It's a mental challenge to keep on going.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay, well, Marissa, with that being said, I mean, the Desert Dash, we're all looking forward to that one. How excited are you for that one after doing all of this?
I think I've done my fair share of training for long distances. I think I'm fit enough, and I'm looking forward to it very much. There's going to be very strong competition in the mixed teams. I'm riding with George Tiller, and we're riding for Simon. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to be up on the podium. I mean, we all want to win.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. So yeah.
Okay, well, with that being said, before I do let you leave, just tell us how many Ks you've done of cycling for the year.
10,400.
10,400.
You've done with your car.
Like we said, it's more than I've driven.
Yeah, but it makes you strong. And yeah, I'll just get better and better with every year. So this is my second year of cycling. I turned 40 this year, and I'm really enjoying it. It's such an addiction. Yeah.
So we can still look forward to seeing you ride for the next couple of years, Moss?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
I told my husband, at least until I'm 50, I want to give it my all.
At least 10 more years, that's all we
Yeah.
want to hear. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Marissa, thank you for your time.
Thank you
And
so much.
yeah.
right, truly an incredible feat from Marissa Mouton, and we wish her all the best in her journey as a truly potent cyclist. After the break, we head in the pipeline for some boxing. All right, now in today's pipeline, we have prominent boxing promoter Ims Moses, who is here to update us on how he has assessed the year and the future plans he has for his stable. Jesse Jackson Kauraisa conducted this interview for Sport Rap.
Sports Rap is joined, that is by promoter and founder of AC Boxing Promotions, Ims Moses. Welcome to the show, Moses.
Hey, good morning, man. Jesse.
Yes. It has been indeed a good year, a wonderful journey for you, hosting top caliber events and all. Well, as AC Promotions, just tell me, do you feel you have achieved what you have wanted to this year?
Yeah, not really, but let me say I'm happy with what I've done. So we did 2 fights, and that's actually because we don't have financial support, which is a big sponsor. And I think if we could have had a sponsorship, we can even do 3 or 4 or 5 events a year, because we have a lot of youngsters that really showing interest and also have talent. And I feel like having 2 fights only in a year is less, but you can't really just complain. So we have to appreciate for those people who came on board and support us, and make sure at least we have something took place 2023.
Yes, 2023 indeed a very tough year, not having a sponsorship and still able to organize these top fights. What did it take from you to just at least get these fights going?
It's just actually having a good team around you, good friends. I have a lot of childhood friends that are now entrepreneurs, and of course they believe in my hard work, they believe in my dream, and they've been following me ever since that I've been consistent doing boxing. And I'm not just a guy that rely on financial from corporate. I'm a guy that also do business on my own and invest in the sport of boxing. So that's why all my friends and all those people that support me is because they've been following me ever since I started boxing. Not even when we actually launched the AC promotion, but me just a boxing trainer, boxing matchmaker in general.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there has been, you have produced some top fighters this year as well, and top caliber opponents as well. For AC, do we expect anything else this year, or was this the final?
I think this should be the last fight of the year, unless somebody really come on board and say, no, we have money on the table, can we do one more probably in December or somewhere like that. But in terms of boxing, I think this is actually our last event of the year. And of course, we are looking forward for 2024, and we are already working on our program, and we were looking on the dates we're gonna have next year. So of course, we wanna do like 4 events next year, whether we have a sponsor or not. I think we now set a trademark whereby really we trying to make boxing an industry on its own, don't need to rely on buying tables and that money can be used to do the event. It's more like a pay-per-view when it's come to my event because you buy what you want. So next year, of course, with what we have done this year, and I know corporates are watching, the government is watching, the fans are excited, and I think if we don't have a sponsor next year, then we don't belong to this country.
Yes, you don't belong to this country. Finding sponsorship has been hard, of course. But how, like you said again, friends, do you perhaps have any companies that have assisted you during this tough period of launching such top caliber events without any main sponsor?
Yeah, for sure. I can actually mention few. See, we look at the Kadira Molecular Partition, we have virtual technologies, we have CSS Tactical Solutions, we have BPI Technologies, we have Ready by Smith Market. Ready by has been involved in the sport of boxing for so many years, and we have Yashipahu Insurance Brokers. All those companies, those are companies that are being owned by local Namibians. So meaning those are the people that really understand. A lot of them is people that that we grown up with, we went to school with. We struggled. We started the same. We go different routes. Some go to do business. Some go into construction. Some go into technology. Some go into different services. But I'm remaining with the sport because I see we have a lot of youngsters in the street that are not doing anything, and I'm trying to keep them out of the street. So that's why it always makes sense when I come to my friends and to those business partners of mine that I convince them. They really see the need in the street because everybody's coming from the hood. When you look in your hood, you find kids in the street. Some are smoking, drinking alcohol, and getting involved in some dangerous gang. Now, what can we do to bring those kids and make their dream come true and become the future of tomorrow? It's only by coming together. But if we can't get a big sponsorship from big corporates, let's hold hands together and put money together. Sometimes the table you see is friends that donate, contribute $1,000, make it a $10,000, then they support the event. And then we also have people that just say, okay, we see what you're doing is great. AC have been doing a great job, and of course, let's do this. And I want to thank a school like Eros Primary School with its board members and the principal, as well as the Ministry of Education, for allowing us to have a boxing gym in that school, because it has been really, really hard not to have a place to train. And now that we have a place to train, and now we are busy constructing our gym there, and it's a contribution to the school because we also contribute to the school when the school needs help, especially the government can't really afford to maintain all the government schools. So school need maintenance. Through our events, we raise funds and assist the school to make sure that the school is in a good condition, and also to motivate the young kids and give them hopes that tomorrow, if they study hard, it's just the same as you train hard, you become a champion. You can only go to the university if you study hard, and that is come with hard work and dedication, and that's what we preach on a daily basis.
Yes, I see. You mentioned taking these young guys off the street and making something out of them. What does that take for a guy like you as a promoter? I mean, just having these guys being like a father figure, a friend to them, and just making sure that they get their lives in order.
You see, this is not really easy because a lot of kids, they come from different background. There are kids that eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There are those that just wake up and go because there's nothing to eat. So me being a trainer and being a promoter at the same time, it also gives me that experience that I don't just need to accept any kid that comes without knowing where they come from. So I need to understand when I speak to these kids, I must speak to them differently, because there are some that really need support, even financial. They need food at home, we need to clothe them, and so forth.
Some exciting times ahead for Ims Moses and his stable. After the break, it's time for your take.
When a double trolley dash in our birthday bonanza while saving on these. Get 10 kg Champion Super Maize for $99.99. 3 kg Pasta Grande Elbows or Mac for $64.99. 1.5 kg Real Good Mixed Chicken for just $64.99. 1 liter First Choice UHT milk for $19.99. And 2 kg Surf hand washing powder for $49.99. See the details of our incredible double trolley dash competition at voermanbrock.com.
Now we have a very special Your Take segment. Why? Because you're going to be getting my predictions for the English Premier League fixtures over the weekend. We certainly hope you've been paying attention to how everything has been transpiring. Of course, it's been 2 weeks of an international break. Just before that break, the last big game was Arsenal getting the best of Man City. But 2 weeks can make a big difference. And these are some of my predictions, which will also be on the Super Brew app. Let's have a look at what the fixtures are. Liverpool, Everton, yes, it is a derby. Yes, Everton somehow shows up whenever they're in that city, but I think they'll only muster 1 goal. Liverpool scoring a minimum of 3 goals in that one. That's what I'm calling. AFC Bournemouth, they're going to be at home, so I'll give them at least 1 goal, but the Wolves will be hunting. I expect them to win that one 2-1. Brentford and Burnley. Brentford, the much more solid team. Burnley still trying to find its footing under Vincent Company. I think Brentford takes that one 2-0. Manchester City versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Manchester City arguably had their, at least spiritually, worst game, but they're still possibly, in fact, definitely the best team in the world. And Brighton and Hove Albion, they've kind of been on the decline. So I'm giving that one Manchester City 3-0. Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. Newcastle has been awfully strong. I'm going to let them tip that one 3-1. Crystal Palace might have just that little thing that allows them to score at least 1 goal. Nottingham Forest, Luton Town. These are, bottom tier teams with regards to their performances. However, Luton Town is still fresh in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest should win this one comfortably. I'll call it a 2-0 win. Chelsea, Stamford Bridge facing Arsenal. This might be the game of the weekend. Of course, Chelsea has got all the pieces together to be able to stage a victory, but I don't think they'll be able to gel as well as Arsenal has. So I see Chelsea losing that one to Arsenal's 2 at home. And Sheffield United, Manchester United. Sheffield United trying to find their feet. Manchester United trying to be, much better than they have been all along with regards to consistency. They have an opportunity to, get their spirits up. It's Sheffield United. I expect United to take 2-0 on that one, but it's Manchester United. It can go in any direction. Le Rugby Joe after the break. Now, South Africans went to sleep last Sunday night, if their adrenaline allowed them any sleep, in an ecstatic mood. It had been a fraught week with a good ending. That mood may have been carried into Monday and Tuesday. And then came the realization. This weekend is going to be a nervously fraught one too. There would have been many Springbok supporters who at some point in last Sunday's epic World Cup quarterfinal against France who thought to themselves, it is over. There was even a time when France just looked too good, and when the Boks started the second half knowing that they wouldn't have Ibn Etzbeth for 9 minutes, the worst was feared. Now the Boks had started as underdogs, oddly, and no one really minds when your team loses to a team that just plays better. It is when they lose to an inferior one, or a refereeing error, or plain ineptitude decides the game, that it really hurts. And at that time, when the Boks looked like they might lose to the host, there was a conversation that could well have been repeated in many places in South Africa at that point. Oh well, I'd rather lose to this good French team in a quality quarterfinal than lose to England next week. I'm sure the Boks will have this one in the bag, but we'll see how it goes. Ari Hogard, however, is back from the Rugby World Cup, and he's on standby with international news. From me, Ashwin Berry, have a great weekend.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with rugby news first. Two big semi-finals in the World Cup rugby taking place, one tonight. That is New Zealand playing against Argentina, and then it is also South Africa that play against the team of England. That is on Saturday. News from the England camp is that Mario Itoje, he's one of the influential players in the team, very experienced. He apparently had a big talk with his teammates and said that it's time for the team to ignore the past and focus on what they can do to beat South Africa. That past, he means 4 years ago, it was South Africa that beat England in the final of the 2019 World Cup in Japan. That score was 32-12 quite convincingly. So he motivated his team. He said, don't look back at that, and let's make memories and beat South Africa on Sunday. Good news for England is that the weather is going to be weather that is quite suitable to England rugby. Apparently there's an 80% chance of rain for the game against South Africa, between South Africa and England. Also rain predicted for tonight when New Zealand play against Argentina. So there's rain in Paris the whole weekend, and it will be 14 degrees. So that is rugby that will suit, or that is weather that will suit England probably against South Africa. They're more used to playing in that weather, in their conditions in England. Continuing with cricket news, and it's another World Cup. It is a Cricket World Cup in India, 50-over Cricket World Cup, and it is important games taking place over the weekend. Defending champions England, they're under pressure to qualify. Only 4 top teams of the 10 teams, they play each other throughout the tournament in the first phase, and then there's a semi-final. But England need to beat South Africa playing on Saturday, and South Africa also had a good start but lost against the Netherlands. Top of the table at the moment is New Zealand and India. They played 4 games each and all won all 4 games, so they've got 8 league points, but they play against each other on Sunday, so a big top of the table game that will be played in Dharamsala, and that game will be in front of 23,000 spectators. South Africa, their game against England, that will start at 10:30. That is on Saturday. At the moment, South Africa have got 4 league points, so that is after 3 games, and England 2 league points after 3 games. South Africa at the moment still in the top 4. Continuing international sports news with tennis news, it's the Japan Open being played in the men's ATP Tour, and news there is that Marcus Giron of the United States, continuing his good form, he's through to the semi-finals. He beat Felix Auger-Aliassime of Canada, his number 8 seed. That is Giron that beat him by 6-1 and 6-4 in the quarterfinals to go through to the semi-finals. And there we play against Ben Shelton. He's also from the USA. Ben Shelton beat another American, Tommy Paul, by 7-6 and 6-3 in the quarterfinal. Also earlier, it was number 1 seed that's out of the tournament. That is Taylor Fritz of the United States. He lost to one of Japan's local favorites, and his name is Shitaru Mochizuku. And it's Mochizuku that won that game love 6, 6-4 and 7-6 to advance also to the semi-finals. And closing off today's international sports news, it is soccer news or football news. A big derby coming up tomorrow. That is between Liverpool and Everton. That's a Merseyside derby, well-known Merseyside derby, and that will be 1:30 kick-off time on Saturday. At the moment, Everton only have 7 league points after 8 games, and it's Liverpool that have 17 after their 8 games, and they're in the top 3 at the moment of the English Premier League. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day and sport weekend, and we talk international sport again on Monday. Goodbye.